With me now in the studio is Mariano de Alba, an attorney specializing in international law and foreign affairs. So what do you think these talks were meant to achieve? And as we heard, both sides confirmed that they happened, but they differ very much on what was actually discussed.
Yes, I mean, I think this is not a surprise. It's really difficult, first of all, to understand what President Trump meant. I mean, this is not a new situation. Even from the start of the year, there were back-channel talks between high-level officials of the State Department and the Maduro regime. I think that in a sense, it could be the start of more direct communications between the regime and the government of the United States to see if there can be some sort of advancement. Let's remember that right now we're in a situation in which the Maduro regime and the National Assembly, with his president Juan Guaido, had been trying to negotiate some sort of solution with the mediation of Norway, but those talks are in a deadlock situation. And right now we have this other scenario emerging, a more direct negotiation between the U.S. government and the Maduro regime. In principle, I am very skeptical, but it could be an effort to try to reach some sort of agreement and advancement in certain areas. But I'm skeptical because until now there hasn't been any concrete show that the Maduro regime is actually willing to seek out a solution, and that's also the case for the United States government, because they have been increasing substantially the pressure, the financial pressure against the Maduro regime.
What do you make of the timing of the the release of this information that these discussions were taking place? Why now?
The timing, it's very important because we're in the middle of a situation where after the latest executive order from President Trump, which increased dramatically the international pressure, even threatening with secondary sanctions foreign companies that still have ties with the Maduro regime. After that happened, the Maduro regime decided to walk out of the negotiating table with the opposition, with the mediation of Norway. And right now the country is in a deadlock situation where no concrete advancement can be foreseen. So this, in my view, could be a signal of both the U.S. government and the Maduro regime of saying we should start talking and see if we can, get to some sort of agreement in which the U.S. government decreases the pressure, and in exchange, the Maduro regime does something. Basically, it would have to be something like respect the National Assembly, free political prisoners, and even, the most important subject of all this history is if the Maduro regime will be willing to call for new presidential elections after the fraudulent elections of May 2018.
Were you surprised to hear that these discussions, these back-channel discussions, were taking place despite everything else that had been going on at the surface?
It's surprising that, if confirmed, it is surprising that it is high-level talks. I think that the most likely probability are like mid and low-level officials simply, passing messages and trying to see what some sort of agreement can be reached. I think it would be surprising if it's high-level conversations. But when I say it's nothing new, I know that for a fact that for many months during during January, February, March, and April of 2019, there were high-level talks, especially trying to deal with the diplomatic fallout of the Trump sanctions and also the Maduro regime kicking out the U.S. diplomats from Caracas.
All right, Mariano de Alba, thank you so much. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you so much.